Kelise and welcome back to my channel, Kelise Travel. So on this channel we discuss everything immigration, lifestyle and travel. I live in Canada, Alberta. I'm a new immigrant. I landed here with my family including 2 young kids in May of 2019. Button, subscribe and like this video and share it with your friends as well. Today we're going to be discussing childcare in Canada as a new immigrant, and let's dive right in. Yeah, today I'm going to be dropping off my daughter to kindergarten, and kindergarten is only approximately 3 hours long. So I'm going to just run some errands and go pick her back up from kindergarten. And we're going to be talking about all of that, the challenges of kindergarten. Alright, so disclaimer. I live in Alberta. And childcare tends to differ from province to province. So I would actually leave a couple links down below everything I discuss. I would leave links for you to go research if you don't plan to land and live in Alberta. But there's some things that are common amongst all provinces, so this video will be helpful for anyone who's interested, who's going to be coming to Canada, new immigrants, just landed, students coming with family, young kids. So I have 2 kids, and I can't look at you because I'm driving. I have 2 kids. They're now 3 and 4 years old, so they're pretty young. And back in your home country, if you're coming from the Caribbean, you may be very much familiar with the nuclear family structure, which means auntie, granny, tanty and nanny lives in the same household, right? It's really nice. Everyone is community living. Everyone takes care of the kids. Even if like you pay for formal childcare, you always have someone to drop your kids by if you need to just run an errand. On a weekend, if you need to work a night shift, there's always someone. But when you're moving to Canada, unless you're moving in with family, if you're moving to live by yourself, which was the case of my husband and I, we moved here, we have no family, no friends when we moved. It was really difficult because we moved from that supportive environment into an environment where you're on your own. You're on your own. So in Alberta, there are a really great variety of governments sponsored programs that would really help a new immigrant when it's time to move here, especially if you have young kids. And when we moved, we were able to access the child care subsidy for daycare. So this is a subsidy that doesn't have a fixed price. It varies based on the income, the household income. So the first year as being new immigrants, because we had no income taxes from the year prior, we were able to access this full amount. And I'm going to put the link in the bottom so you can actually go check out how much money you'll be able to access. But this money doesn't come directly to you. It goes towards the daycare or the child care institution, and then you pay the balance. And that was a huge help when we first landed. And so you may be wondering, what makes you eligible? So you need to be working, obviously, but they had this program where if you were looking for work, you can apply for it, because you know you're looking for work and obviously you'll be getting calls on interviews and these things. I just recently had an experience where I got called out for an interview, and one day in the daycare for my 2 kids was costing me $120 Canadian, which is crazy, right? So it really is expensive if you just do like drop-ins day by day. So what the government did is that they understood that if you're looking for work, you would still need access to childcare. So I think it's like a period of 3 months you have where you can access this childcare if you're looking for work, which was the biggest help. Now after landing, I was able, my husband, he started working within 2 weeks of landing, and then I was able to secure a job offer within 1 month of landing. And the reason why it took me 2 weeks longer than him is because I needed to figure out childcare. Now it really puts you in a vulnerable position as a woman. I mean, sometimes the men could stay home with the children, but for the most part in the Caribbean structure of the way things work, with some exceptions of course, mainly it'll be the woman staying at home with the kids. If there was an option of the who have to stay home, it would most likely be the woman. I think that's kind of true across the board, right? So we're really at a disadvantage, and it's really a vulnerable position to be, where you're not sure in terms of childcare, and you know you can't work until you get someone to look after these kids. Right. So I'm just packed up here in front of Keisha's school, waiting, because we're we're very early. But yeah, so I have some time to talk to you. Yeah, so because we live in Alberta, there's also the Alberta Child and Family Benefit that we qualified for when we first landed, and that was just a bit extra money that the government gives you to help you to stay afloat, basically. And the more money you make, the less money you get. I believe after we filed our first year's taxes, we didn't qualify for it anymore. It was gone. But again, as a new immigrant, these are things that would really help you. Like, this could be the difference between staying afloat until you get a job and sinking fast, right? Apart from obviously having your proof of funds, your funds from back home and whatnot, which disappears so quick when you land here, because $1 in the Caribbean, it's like a cent here. It just disappears, right? Yeah, so if your kids are school age, that might be really good for you, because you may be able to avoid having to pay you may be able to avoid having to pay daycare fees if your kids are school age. So again, this varies from province to province. I know that in Ontario, kids are able to start pre-kindergarten, the year in which they turn 4 years old. And some schools are half day and some schools are full day school. So if you're able to choose a school that is full day in your zone, because you can't just send your children to any schools, the areas are zoned out, so you only have a couple options in your zone, and most likely there will be different options. So there will be Catholic school, there will be private school, and there will be public schools, right? So you can choose. There will be full day schools for kindergarten at least, and half day schools. So you have a couple options in your zone most likely. So yeah, if you're able to do that from 4 years old, you're good to go. You have childcare. But in Alberta, children enter kindergarten the year in which they turn 5. So my daughter, thankfully, turns 5 on the 31st of December. So she was able to get into kindergarten in September of this year. But kindergarten, most of the kindergartens here, with a couple exceptions, are half day. So you have either morning shift or afternoon shift. Morning shift starts, let's say roughly, because it varies from school to school, of course, starts around 8:30, finishes about after 11ish, and then evening school starts, the afternoon shift starts from like 11:30, finishes like around 2:40, around there. So in other words, you still would need to get your children into daycare, right? And the daycare would then drop them to school and pick them up from school after, because it's such a short period. So if you have kids older than 5 years old, most likely they'll be able to just go to school. You may or may not have to pay for daycare as well. Yeah, so another option would be to hire a babysitter, right? But from like every time I look online or ask around, the price here in Alberta tends to be around $15 an hour. So you do the maths. If you're working for like $20 an hour and you're paying a babysitter $15 an hour, what exactly you're working for? That is the question. So a babysitter may come in handy if like you want date night, or you're looking for that like that run-off day, that one day that you need to go run, do something that on a weekend or something like that. Yeah, but if you can afford it, good for you, right? Now there are also something called day homes, and I haven't had personal experience with it. So they're daycares, then they're day homes. So day home is basically like a more casual version of a daycare. It's at someone's home. It's not regulated as highly by the government as daycares, and they have less children as well, obviously, because it's a home, right? I know that like during COVID, when things had completely shut down at first, daycares closed, day homes were still operational. So there are some benefits. There's like more security, more intimacy, I guess, with a day home compared to a daycare. Right, yeah, so there's also the Canada Child Benefit. So this is an amount of money that the government of Canada gives to permanent residents and citizens It's paid monthly on around the 20th of every month. You can arrange for it to be direct deposited straight into your bank account. And this is tax-free money that the government gives you to help with the cost of raising a child in Canada. And there's no particular amount. It's all according to how much money you make. So the more money you make, the less money you get, right? Which is really good. So as a new immigrant, you get access to the full benefits. So for us, that was a really big help when we first came, because yeah, kids here can be expensive. Everything from like getting winter clothes for them, because you're going to come from the Caribbean, it's going to be sunny, and then all of a sudden if you land here in winter, you need to buy an entire whole new wardrobe for your children. Everything, winter boots, gloves, you name it, everything. And it really helps along as well with any unexpected things that may come up. But after the first year of being here, when we filed our taxes, obviously that figure, that amount of money that we got every month, it went down dramatically. And I'm going to leave a link below so you can check to see how much the figure is. I don't want to give specific figures while doing this video because it may change. It changes all the time. But we are approximately able to get around $500 per child Canadian monthly when we first landed, and that figure just went down dramatically after we filed our first year's taxes. And so it makes sense, and it's fair. The more money you make, the less money you would need from the government to take care of your kids. So please comment below if you have any particular questions about childcare in Canada. Please link them below. I'll be happy to help and give you my personal experience. And yeah, I'm trying and I'm aiming to get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of January 2021. So please help me if you haven't subscribed already. What are you waiting on? What? Subscribe and hit that notification button, and then like and share this video as well with anyone who may be moving to Canada. And yeah, thank you very much for listening.